And hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to The Other People's Show, Friday, February 14th, 2025. Thank you for the thumb up. Please go to all the social media pages, that's the Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, The Other People's Show. Likes and subscriptions are up. Please join us on our Patreon as well. Please do that. It would be greatly appreciated. And a like and share is much appreciated also. Now, I did have a little contest going. I'm going to try to do some contests this week. And I should have had people share the show about it. And what we were doing is a couple days ago, I had put out a picture. And it was myself in a bathrobe holding a styrofoam head. And I was saying the best caption wins. Hey Corey. Hey Darian. And I did have a caption contest. We had a lot of people say stuff about that caption. And what I really wanted to do was kind of did what I did last time, is put all the names in the hat and pull one out, but there's so many good ones. So I might just wait and give the winner next week. I might do that. Now, I'm trying to think, did we do Other People's Show last week? I don't know if we did or not. It's the days are kind of like going in and out with me. They all seem to kind of blur together in a way. And it I do hundreds of shows per year, so it seems like January is always one of the hardest months to do a show consistently, as well as February, because they're the winter months, and we live in a place where the show is broadcast. It is winter weather here, and winter weather is in full effect. It truthfully is. But, I did have a few things. Today is Valentine's Day. And, I got to say, Valentine's Day, as many people say, it is a made-up holiday, as they all are in a way. But, this shouldn't be a day that you tell that your loved one that you love them. This shouldn't be the only day that's said. That's something that you should show and say and celebrate every single day with the loved one. Not just for public show on Valentine's Day. And that's great that everyone's out there posting their pictures, getting the candy, getting the roses, getting the gifts. I'm all for that. That's great. But I'm saying that should be something that should be displayed all the time, not just on Valentine's Day. Because I have seen a lot of sweet pictures out there today. Oh, and they've made my heart flutter. They've made me... to be honest with you, I don't care either way. I really don't care either way about the holiday. I just think it's another holiday where you got to spend money to show someone that you love and care about. And do you really have to spend money to do that? You don't have to. I don't think you have to. I mean, if I wanted... I don't even know the direction that I want to go with this, because I'm all for being romantic. I'm all for going out and doing things that show your loved one that you love them. And if that's getting flowers, that's perfectly fine with me. If that's not doing any of the above, it could be flowers, it could be cards, it could be you're going out to eat, it could be you do a fun escape room. It could be many things that you do. It could be, handcuffs. You don't know what might be used on this day. And I'm all for that, if that's what you want to do. But I don't think today should be the only day, February 14th, that you show that person that you care. Because if you do care, you're going to show them all the time. And that's not going to mean that, you're not going to have problems, because you're going to have problems. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to have fights. But you still show the person that you care, not just on February 14th. And this kind of makes it seem like I do not like the holiday, because I don't. I don't have a problem with it at all. At all. I don't. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to spend unnecessary amounts of money for things that are going to go in the trash. For things that are, and this whole show tonight, the Other People show, kind of might paint me in a negative light, which that's what radio shows do sometimes. They might paint you in a negative light. That's what putting yourself out there in the public do. It could paint, because, there's opinions. Right opinions, myself. Wrong opinions, those that don't agree. Regardless of that, and I'm kidding, by the way. Everything's done with tongue in cheek on this show. Is that the Valentine's Day holiday, which was from St. Valentine. Now, I don't know if you know the story of St. Valentine, but it was a St. Valentine's Day massacre, is what happened. And the St. Valentine's Day Massacre was the murder of 7 members of the Associates of Chicago's North Side Gang on St. Valentine's Day in 1929. The men were gathered in Lincoln Park, Chicago, on the morning of February 14th, 1929. And that's kind of how it happened. That's exactly how it happened. So we are actually celebrating a loved one on that day. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about also what happened. And this is a story that that I don't know if many people know. They might know the story that I just told you, but they don't know the story that I'm about to tell you. Because this is something that I don't know many people know this. So I'm going to tell you all a little bit about the real St. Valentines. So take heed and warning, everyone out there. It was at a junior high school dance in 1938. Jeremy Milton, an outcast student, asked 4 popular girls to dance. The first 3 girls, Lily, Paige, Donna, they reject him cruelly, while the 4th girl, Kate, politely responds, "Maybe later." Their rich friend Dorothy accepts Jeremy's invitation to dance. And then after the dance, perhaps a kiss behind the bleachers? When the school bully Joe and his pals discover them, Dorothy falsely accuses Jeremy of attacking her. Joe and his pals severely beat him, and his nose bleeds from distress. Jeremy is expelled and transferred to reform school in juvenile hall due to Dorothy, Lily, Paige, and Donna. And Joe, all testifying, saying that he was making advances. Then he ended up in a mental institution. 13 years later, Jeremy got out. Jeremy stalked and murdered everyone involved in that high school dance. Over 85 deaths occurred because of this. Although Jeremy now is deceased and gone, his relatives, take warning and take heed. His relatives are out there. And they're not going to let anyone not pay the price for the wrong that was done to Jeremy. Even to this very day. So while everyone's out there enjoying their dinner, enjoying their lunch, enjoying their flowers, their candy, their bouquet, their presents, Jeremy's descendants, should I say, are out there. And they could be looking for you. And that right there is the story, the real story of Saint Valentine. And then I just find it a little funny that that's the this is the holiday that we celebrate love, when you've got the story of Jeremy and all that stuff going on. Even to this day, it gave me chills when I was reciting that back to you all. I mean, if I didn't have the heater on in here, I would be chilled to the bone. And that's why I don't want to celebrate Valentine's Day. Because I feel like if we're celebrating Valentine's Day, then that's just giving in to Jeremy and giving into that darkness. And I don't want to give into that darkness. I really don't. And I don't think you want to either. So boycott the day. No, I'm just kidding. But I just wanted to let you all know the truth. The true story of Valentine's Day. Then you can go ahead and tell your kids. And they can tell their kids. And then they can tell their kids. And then this folklore of truth will be generations down the line at this point. But yeah. It wasn't a very eventful day as far as that goes. Just some behind the scenes stuff taking place, as it always is. And some crazy things in a way. There was a couple shows back where I was explaining where I was dealing with some faces from a face from the past. And this is not anything I guess this could be about a year ago or so. And right after I was discussing this live on air, I happened to look up at the screen. Well, I noticed during the live view, you can do a thumb up or a thumb down. And there was a couple thumbs down. And, that was okay. That's fine. People don't have to like the show. That's fine. I know as many people dislike it as like it. But when I went back for the review and edit of the show, I noticed there was about 16 thumbs down. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. But I've pinpointed and did some sleuthing around, and I've come to the conclusion of who and what it was. And I could say what or whom. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to give them the glory of that. I just know that I know who it was, and I'm okay with that. If they want to continuously leave all thumbs down, that means that they're watching or they're listening. And that's fine by me. Because my goal is to get on here and try to do an entertaining show and try to bring you all something that you might not know. Such as real talk. Did you all know that much stuff about 12 Monkeys? I doubt that. And I didn't even do that great of a job. I did an okay job because I needed to rewatch the movie again. A lot of the movies we choose, you need to focus on the movie, not have outside distractions, which I did have, and I do apologize. But you all also wouldn't have known about the Valentine's Day massacre and the true meaning behind Valentine's Day and how it got started with Jeremy. Now, the reason we give candy and flowers, I didn't even get into that part in the story, is you think it's out of this love and this respect and this mutual admiration of someone. But Jeremy, when he was seeking revenge on these girls and Joe, now Joe, I think he just beat Joe to death. I think he beat Joe to death with a box of chocolates. But he gave some of the chocolates to some of these names. Kate, Lily, Paige, Donna, Dorothy. He gave flowers that had poison in the flowers. Poison. He poisoned some of these girls. He put rat poison also in some of the chocolate with little droppers inside the chocolate. Inside the chocolate. So Jeremy was a mean guy. He wanted revenge because they treated him bad on February 14th, 1939, I think is when it was. 1938, at a dance. At a junior high dance. And now we give candy, cookies. I never get anything on Valentine's Day. Nobody gives me anything. I'm hated. And that's okay. Because sometimes in this life you have to be hated. And you have to be able to overcome that hate. And, I don't know a lot of times if you all ever deal with this, but when you have somebody that hates you or that dislikes you, do you let it kind of roll off your back, or is it something that's on your mind? Now, a lot of people could say, well, it must be on your mind. You talk about it on the show. Well, that's part of the show. To mix reality and fiction and make it theater of the mind. So I do take some things from my personal life and put a little spin on it, but some things I say are true. You never do know 100%. But when you have those people that are kind of bringing you down, or not even bringing you down, but that hate you and dislike you, does it bother you at all? Because on one hand, I don't want to really care what anyone thinks. But that's so much easier said than done. Don't you think so? It's easier to say, I don't care. But I've also learned that I don't really care if it is someone that I would never take advice from. If it's somebody that I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, then why would I care about what they say behind my back, or even to my face? And there's the thumb down. See, there it is. And that's what I was talking about. Is, sometimes it does weigh heavy on your shoulders. And then sometimes you can kind of just brush it off. And I guess it depends on, situation to situation. But it's something that everyone has to deal with at one time or another. I do think that that's the truth. Now, I was looking at a little list that popped up here, and I don't often want to do movie things on the other people's show because I have a show devoted toward movies. But this is the 10 greatest Nicolas Cage movies to watch after watching The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Con Air was one of them. Now, Con Air is, a silly action movie. Put the bunny back in the box. Was horrible, Nicolas Cage. But he does say that in the movie. He ad-libbed that line, and that's an iconic line. And he knew it was going to be an iconic line. And he knew exactly what kind of movie he was being in Con Air. He knew exactly what to bring to the role of Cameron Poe. You've also got Moonstruck, that's on the list. Cage scored one of his earliest starring roles in the romantic comedy Moonstruck. I just went twangy there. And this has Cher in it. Now, I've never seen this movie, but you can tell that Cher is very young, as is Nicolas Cage in this movie from the 80s. National Treasure 1 and 2, Book of Secrets, I think is the part 2, is, I'm really surprised that they did not. I was listening to something yesterday, and they were talking about National Treasure movies, and I don't know if they actually brought the series out, but I heard they were going to without Nicolas Cage. But I'm surprised they didn't do a third National Treasure movie, and I think they could probably even do one now. I don't think he's too old to do that. I mean, 2004, it's been 20 years, so he was about 40-some years old. He's about 60 now. But I do think that Nicolas Cage could still play the role of Benjamin Franklin Gates and do a fun job in the National Treasure movies. Now, one of my friends, Aaron, watched this the other night, and this is a very, it's a low budget, kind of like a cult following of a movie called Mandy. And Mandy is like a gonzo action horror movie opus. And I don't know. It's a story of Mandy. It's as simple as they come. It's a mild-mannered everyman. He's wrong. Then he uncovers a sinister, violent nature to extract revenge against the people responsible. But it's one of the most singular cinematic visions of the 21st century that I've seen. No other movie out there looks quite like this movie. And it's a hard watch as well, but it's very interesting. You could at least look up Mandy's scenes on YouTube. I would do that. Another one is, and this is the movie that a lot of people don't think of. It's a regular Joe movie called It Could Happen to You with Nicolas Cage, Bridget Fonda, and Rosie Perez. And it's about a story about let me think. I saw this in the movie with my grandmother when I was a kid. Cage plays a New York City cop who stops at a diner. He doesn't have enough cash to tip the waitress, played by Bridget Fonda, but he halfway jokingly says to share the fortune if he wins the lottery ticket. The next day, his ticket yields a 4 million share of the lottery prizes, and hilarity and romantic epic ensues. You've got adaptation where Nicolas Cage plays twins. He plays twins, and I've never seen this movie. I do want to watch it, but I've never seen it. Wild at Heart, which also stars Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern. They're Sailor and Luna, and they embrace, these roles wholeheartedly. And this was also a David Lynch movie, and David Lynch had passed a few weeks ago. He, I don't want to say a titan in the film industry because he was an auteur. He was somebody that lived and breathed art, whether it be painting or sculpting, making movies, making music, and that's a lot of what I aspire to do with the art. Just continuously make this and make your life pretty much consumed by art and the projects that art creates. And Wild at Heart is a wild, wild ride. Nicolas Cage, he walks around a lot of the time in a snakeskin jacket. He sings in the movie, and it's very violent. It won the Palme d'Or in, I believe, 1990 or 91, where the half of the crowd booed and half the crowd cheered. You got Face Off with John Travolta, which is one of the best action movies of all time. Nicolas Cage, he plays Castor Troy, who is a bad guy, but then after the Face Off, he is switched, and he's actually a good guy. And it's such a great movie by John Woo. And the movie that Nicolas Cage won the Best Actor for, Leaving Las Vegas. Great performance. Very emotional watch, and I don't watch it often just because it's sad. You know how it's going to end, but it's still a sad movie. And another fun, and probably one of the most fun movies Nicolas Cage has done is Raising Arizona. And at the Coen Brothers movie, it has endless quotable quotes on this crime caper, and Raising Arizona. This used to air a lot on TBS when I was a kid, and I think that's where I've probably seen it the most, to be honest with you. So those were the top 10 movies to watch of Nicolas Cage's. After the unbearable, what is it called? The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I think. Also, a movie you should probably watch on Valentine's Day is, you've got the movie Valentine, and you also have the movie Heart Eyes, which I happened to catch last week. It was okay. It wasn't bad. I went the other night. Actually, I went last Super Bowl Sunday. I went there. I didn't really watch... I don't want to say I didn't watch a play of the game. I didn't watch a live play. I watched a couple of highlights or lowlights, whatever. But, it really didn't captivate me this year. I had a feeling that Philadelphia was going to win. They did. America seemed to be happy about it. Taylor Swift was booed. The Chiefs got blown out. So instead of going, watching the game, I went to watch Heart Eyes. And originally I was the only person in this movie. A few stragglers came in afterwards. But it was a fun little movie. It's not going to blow you away or anything, but it was it was worth the money. It was worth the money. So that's pretty much all that's been going on. I do have a project with I won't reveal much right now, but I do have a myself and another talented artist have a project in the works, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to, I don't want to give away too much right now up front. I'm bad for doing that. Sometimes I want to, give away too much because I'm so excited about the project. But this is a project that I think will be one of the best projects I've ever been involved with. And this is coming on the heels of some pretty cool stuff that I've done. And not just me, but the group of people that I've worked with, they've been amazing. And it couldn't have been done without them. I cherish each and every one of them also. But that being said, someone that I really liked, and I hadn't got to be a great friend with them, and they've passed away today. And it's always sad when somebody passes away. Maybe not always, but a lot of the times to someone it has to be. And this guy was a stand-up guy. He was a shoulder to cry on to a lot of to someone special. And he had some tragic things happen later in his life within the past 6 or 8 months, and never really recovered from that. So I just want to say rest in peace, and my heart does go out to his friends and his family, and he will be missed. I didn't know him really, really well. I spent several times with him over the past year, and always had a good time. I just wanted to say that on tonight's show. He actually gave me the line, I said it back in the summer, the tater twats. Yeah, that was a funny little line that I used at the beginning of one of the shows back in the summer, and yeah. But anyway, I want you all to really think about the Valentine's holiday, and go back and listen to the story that I told you about it, because that is a story that not many people know. And I think if more people knew that story and knew the origin of Valentine's Day, I don't know if it would be such a celebrated holiday. I know that they would probably take down all the candy out of the store, because I wouldn't want my candy to be associated with that, because rat poison in chocolates, that's not a good look for anyone, I don't think. I really don't. And I would just want to steer clear of that. And we'll see what happens as far as that goes. Maybe we'll be able to steer clear, and maybe we will not. But think about that in the future. I really do want you to. Like I've promised time and time again, things are going to be changing up here on the show, doing some new segments, doing some new things like that. It'll be a lot better, though, once we get into better, warmer weather. The cold is just makes me cold-hearted, which I've been accused of being cold-hearted all the time. But anyway, thank you all for joining me tonight, giving a little bit of your time to Real Talk and the Other People's Show. And go check out all the shows, all the music on WLSD 92.5, The Vault, and the sister station 93.5, WAXM. Like and subscribe and listen to them. And go to all the social media pages, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Like, subscribe, and share. the other people's show, you all have a happy Valentine's Day. Don't eat any chocolate.